back to my animal education series. Today I'm here with Bonnie and Carrie Ann at the Cincinnati Zoo. Hello.
Hi.
And it's an odd-looking armadillo. So, what kind is it?
So she's actually called a Screaming Hairy Armadillo. They get that name because when they're trying to spook off something that may be trying to eat them, they let out a really, really shrill screaming sound. It almost sounds like a car alarm, and hopefully that'll stun whatever's trying to catch them long enough for them to get away. And then they're called a hairy armadillo because if you look along her sides here, she's got quite a bit of hair. She is a mammal, so all mammals have hair. But this species of armadillo is the hairiest, so that's where she gets her name.
And she's very active today.
She is, yeah. So typically they're not very good climbers. Bonnie is kind of an exception to that. So her nose is what she really uses to look around and see what there is to see. You'll see it's kind of wiggling a mile a minute. Armadillos don't have very good eyesight. They can only see a few inches in front of their face, so they really rely on that nose to get around. And they're actually pretty fast too, so don't let her fool you.
And that's why she's in the tub and not just running around the room, or else people would never catch her.
Exactly. So we do give her options to exercise in larger areas. This area is a little bit large for her, so we pick other spots for her to get to run. She even has a wheel she can run on if she wants to.
So what is the adaptations that this kind of armadillo has versus like a three-banded armadillo?
Right, so a three-banded armadillo can actually curl up into a ball, just like a little puzzle piece. They fit perfectly, so if something is trying to go after them, they're pretty protected. Now, if you feel along Bonnie's back, you can feel her protection is a little more flexible. It's not as armored as a three-banded armadillo. So what she'll do first is she'll try to run away, or she'll use that screaming tactic that we talked about. The next thing she can do is she can bury herself down into the ground and only have her back exposed, since that is the most protected part on her body. And that helps her out too. Also, you'll see these really cool little nails she has in the front. Those are used for digging. She does love insects, so she spends a lot of time digging. That's also why their eyesight isn't good. Their face is in the dirt most of the time, so they don't need to see that well. Their nose is the ticket on that one, so you can actually see she's digging right now. There might be some treats hiding down in there, and that's what she uses those for. And those are some of my favorite adaptations on her.
And one thing I'm definitely noticing is how she's standing on two legs.
She can, yeah. So she can stand on her hind legs and stand up and sniff the air to see what's around her. That way her nose isn't so close to the ground. She can get a little better of a sniff if she stands up. And her balance is pretty good. She can stand like that for a few minutes.
And obviously, like while she's doing the interview, she's kind of leaning up against the side. But like right before we were filming, I got pictures of it. She's kind of standing up on her like hind legs in the middle of it, kind of like a bear. It's kind of balancing just right.
Exactly, yes. Like I said, she'll use that to kind of sniff or listen around, make sure there's no danger. But when she is on all fours again, she's very, very fast.
So, what would these armadillos eat in the wild?
So they really, really love insects. That's one of their favorite things to eat. Bonnie also gets insects here, and then she'll get some fruit as well. They're not super picky. If they find a tasty treat on the ground, they're going to give it a try, but they get most of the nutrients from those bugs.
And what would try to prey on an armadillo with this?
So they're from Central America, so any type of larger mammal down there, or even some birds will go after these guys if they can. They're not super, super picky, and pretty much anything bigger down there that can eat them will try.
And is this a fully grown adult?
She is, yeah. So they get to their adult size pretty quickly, usually just within a few months or so. And she's no exception to that. Like I said, she'll be 7 this year, so she won't get any larger than this.
And she's not a very big animal at all.
No, they're pretty small.
There's a lot of predators down there would definitely try to.
Definitely, yeah.
Came in like a large bird of prey.
Definitely, especially when they're younger too. When they're younger, they may not be quite as wise to figure out where they need to go for predators. So the younger ones for sure, but the adult ones have a pretty good chance of scurrying off, which is good.
What has been one of your favorite things about taking care of Bonnie here?
So probably one of my favorite things is getting to take her out to meet people just like this. She's a really interesting animal, and I think a lot of people don't get to see armadillos up close, especially this one because she's from Central America. We do have armadillos in the U.S., but they look a lot different than her. So she's a really interactive animal. She does love to be where a lot of people are. She will run right up on kids if they're sitting on the ground and check them out and smell them. So she's a really cool ambassador animal. One of my favorites for a really interactive program.
And have you ever heard the screaming yourself?
So I've personally not heard it from our armadillos, which is a good thing because that could be a stress sign for them. But if you look it up on YouTube or any other platform, you can definitely hear it. It sounds just like a car alarm.
Yeah, and our point of contact here, she's like, oh, do you want to do the Screaming Hairy Armadillo? And I don't think I said yes, anything faster.
That's awesome. I'm super excited about that. Like I said, she's one of my favorites. They're not too common in a lot of facilities, so for us to have a few as ambassadors, it's a really big deal. They're really exciting to see up close. So.
And are these armadillos part of the SSP program?
So currently they are, yeah. We actually have a few that will be going off to breeding in another part of the zoo soon, and we've actually bred some here before. And some 3-banded armadillos here, but yeah, that's about where we are with that.
So what kind of environment can you find these armadillos in?
Right, so this type of armadillo is from Central America. So they do love to live where there's some nice foliage on the ground and some waterways nearby. They do live in burrows underneath the ground, but they do get chased out of those burrows occasionally, and they can actually swim, which is something a lot of people don't know about them. They're actually very buoyant, and Bonnie here, for a specific example, we've actually been target training her to willingly go swim in the water and swim back. It's really good exercise for them.
Because typically, if I look at armadillo, it's like, yeah, I'm pretty confident that it can swim really well.
Exactly, yeah. So even just looking at her adaptations, swimming is definitely not the thing that comes to mind with me. And before I started working with armadillos, I didn't even know that they could swim, but they're super buoyant, which helps them out a lot. And she's a really good swimmer.
And especially for a burrowing species, you wouldn't exactly expect it to come into contact with water or having to swim too much.
Exactly, that is right.
And like South America and stuff like that, you gotta run into water all the time. The rainy season, and especially with the Amazon River, that's just a large water basin there.
Yeah, exactly, and it also gives them another option to get away from predators if they need to. Again, you wouldn't associate swimming with her right off the bat, and a predator might not either, so her even just going into the water could confuse that predator enough to where she's like, I'm probably not going to touch this.
Well, thank you so much for telling us about Bonnie's amazing species here.
Of course.
And if you guys enjoyed this episode, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below, subscribe to my channel, and also check out my Instagram @ColeShirt. As always, see you next week.